There we go. And that means that goes for me too. I can't say anything that could like throw me under a bus, but I'm so glad you guys are here. We may have people. It's okay. Like Joey says that she's getting ready for dinner. That's totally fine. If you guys have it on mute, we will be recording this. I will be uploading it so that you have replay on it. Because really this session is, I want to give you guys a background. First and foremost, I've never done a beta test, y'all, ever. I usually just go right for it, open it up and figure it out as I go. But I figured this time what I'm trying to do, there's nothing to model. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing, as we know as creatives, we always have something to model, some pattern to follow, something. I have nothing to model on this. It's just this random idea that came to me back last summer, and the team and I have been working on growing it. You guys are gonna see Miss Tina here. Miss Tina's on our team. We also have Matt, Leanne, and Cynthia, and you may see them pop on. But for the most part, you're going to get me, Tina, and Matt inside this group because I've got the others working on the coaching group during this time. But my idea behind Pin Society, y'all, as creatives, brick and mortar owner, business owners, boutique owners, online, offline, whatever it may be, one of the main things I always hear is how do I get traffic to my product? How do I get more sales to my website? How do I get people to see my Etsy store, right? And it doesn't matter what you sell. It doesn't matter if you're selling socks or if you're selling like tissue paper, right? Or wood blanks, no matter what, we have to get people to our products in order for them to buy, And obviously we're up against the Amazons of the world, the Alibabas of the world. And we have an amazing opportunity with COVID that people are becoming more trusting of buying online. 2 years ago, they may not have been as trusting to buy online from somebody they didn't know. And thankfully, that's kind of changed a little bit, that people are a lot more trusting to purchase online than they were 2 years ago. What do you guys know about Pinterest? Anything? You guys are like straight out I don't want to say bottom of the barrel because that's not true at all. I wanted people that we have a variety. We have some of you who have really like strong businesses, but I really wanted people that were like kind of Pinterest virgins. The right way to say that. Like I really wanted like Pinterest virgins. I'm building a platform. There we go. I'm building a platform that is really designed to get that starter business going, like have an amazing coaching group that we cover all things, and I have a great mastermind, but there's this missing piece that, for instance, if you're a boutique owner, do I have any boutique? I have some boutique owners. I don't know if any of you are boutique owners, like clothing boutique, any clothing here? No. Okay. Imagine like you wake up in the morning and go, how do I get more sales? You don't wake up in the morning and say, I need a business coach. Right? Who wakes up and says, I need a business coach? You wake up and say, I need to get more sales. And that's exactly what this platform I want to build is a platform that converts, sales. So the easy button of Pinterest, you guys, is that it's a search engine. A lot of people are like, what's your social platform? What social media platforms are you on? And they'll say Pinterest. Well, Pinterest isn't a social media platform. So Pinterest is a search engine. When we want to buy something, where do we go? We go to Google, we go to Pinterest, we go to Amazon, right? As creatives, Etsy, yes. And guess what? When you get on Pinterest and you search for something, where is it sending you? Etsy. Amazon. Exactly. It's a search engine. It's a really cool search engine because it's a search engine that we control. Like we feed the content. Like Pinterest doesn't feed the content we feed the content to Pinterest. And the difference with the Google, the Googles of the world.
Tell Will to come down. Go ahead and tell Will to come down. I'm on a meeting.
The difference with Google versus Pinterest is that Google is all about analytics and statistics and whatnot. And Pinterest, while it is too, obviously the more followers you have, the more monthly views you have, the more stuff your Pinterest knows it can make money off of you. So it's going to it's going to use you for lead generation. But everybody has an equal chance on Pinterest. When you start a website, you're on page like 400 on Google. There's no equal chance on it. Nobody's going to be like, we don't have what it takes to be on the front page of Google. What we do if we pay for ads. And it's kind of goes the same with Facebook. You know, I love evergreen platforms, and an evergreen platform would be Pinterest, would be YouTube. And now we're finding out that TikTok is very much becoming an evergreen platform. I don't know if you guys know, but Google picked up TikTok to index the videos on TikTok. And so that is opening up in a huge door. We were waiting all year in 2021 for that. And we got the news like the last couple of weeks of December that Google's going to start indexing those videos. What that means is evergreen is, think of a tree. You plant a seed and you water it, and it grows a little and a little and a little and a little bit. It keeps growing for many, many, many years. And that's exactly what Pinterest and YouTube are. Is you go on YouTube and you search for content, you get something that's what, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, right? Sometimes you got to look at the dates because you're like, ooh, that's way outdated. The same with Pinterest. You look for a DIY, like, you know, I see over here, Kristen or Shiplap in the back, and you do a DIY, you go to like Pinterest and like, how to do shiplap in my kitchen. You may get a blog post that's 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And that's how Pinterest works. Are you going to go to Facebook and search how to do a DIY kitchen? Probably not. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna get a whole bunch of crap, and you're gonna go down the black hole of the metaverse, right? The same with Instagram. You may hashtag Shiplap Kitchens, or maybe hashtag Magnolia or whatever to get picture ideas, but you're not gonna get anything. You won't get anything tangible there, you know. And so as creatives, we really need to look at, how do we take our products that we create every day, and how do we get them in front of people that we would never be able to get them in front of? And that's exactly what Pinterest does. I'm going to tell you guys, Pinterest is in a huge, like, sort of revolution right now, because they're in a tough spot. They're competing against TikTok, and they're competing against Reels and stories and all of that. And so idea pins, they've made a big push for idea pins in the last couple of months. And we're going to get more into idea pins in a couple of weeks, y'all. So I won't bog you down with this, but where Pinterest is going with that is they want creators like you. They just rolled out Pinterest TV for live. Isn't that cool? Like the Pinterest Live is getting ready to roll out. They're also going to start paying for content for their idea pins. So just to give you like the little Reader's Digest version of it, Pinterest is going to say, hey, we need content today that has recipes with bananas in it. And I know y'all are thinking like, well, I just make signs. Like but you have to realize that people who are looking for recipes like to be in the kitchen, and you make kitchen signs, and they see something they like. It doesn't mean that they never buy what you have. It just means that they're on Pinterest to get banana recipes. So Pinterest might say, hey, I want banana recipes that's not banana bread, because they're working on a big campaign that's like, hey, we need it. Today's all about bananas, and they're going to be paying. And that's a silly example too, by the way, but they would be paying $250 to $1,000 an idea pin for that. And just to give you guys an idea, I know I mentioned it last week. If you guys are in the free group on Facebook, only on the app right now, so it's not on, you'll see right here, Creators Hub. You have to have I think, Bob, you discovered that you had to have an idea pin. I don't know if it was Bob or somebody discovered you had to have an idea pin in order to get this. And so if you don't have the Creators Hub in Pinterest, just create an idea pin. We will be getting to that in a couple of weeks if you don't know how to do that. So don't worry, it's coming. But once you create an idea pin, this Creators Hub pops open. And eventually, right now it just says Hub for all of us, but eventually there's going to be an earn button right here. And that's the earn button that every day you can click on that, and it's going to tell you what kind of content it wants you to create and how much it's going to pay you to create that content. And so they are going to be on a mad dash, kind of like the Reels bonus. Anyone's doing the Reels bonus right now in Facebook? Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, Kim. So it's been a big deal, right? Like,
Oh my gosh.
it's been
It's
amazing.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Crazy.
Yeah,
I keep
exactly.
opening up in the morning and seeing how much money I'm making.
Yeah,
For
no,
what?
it's
Wow.
been some of my girls are like pushing the $5,000 to $10,000 a month mark on Reels right now because of what Facebook's paying for them. But you have to remember they're in this massive competition with TikTok, right? They're like, TikTok just took social media by storm last year. The problem with Facebook Reels is they're not searchable. And you think about the platform of Facebook, you got Reels, you got stories, you got pages, you got groups, you got profiles. It's not indexable. It's not indexable. And I'm sure Mark Zay is trying to work on his own little metaverse of whatever to make that indexable so he can have his own Google someday. I don't really know, but I'm not really going to like bank on that ever working, right? Because we know how amazing Facebook works for us, right? So
Yeah.
if you're on the Reels bonus train right now, take it for every penny they got because Mark doesn't need it. So yeah, I said Kim. Yeah.
How long does a reel, do you know how long a reel stays on there for? Like, I know you said a post is 18 minutes.
18 minutes. Yeah, I think it's just depending on the numbers that they get. And we're seeing a couple.
All right.
Yeah. So obviously if
Curious.
you get one that's viral, it's a couple million views, they're going to keep suggesting it at the bottom. The
Oh,
problem
right.
is they haven't figured out the algorithm yet for Reels. And have you guys noticed that? Like the Reels you get are completely ridiculous. Like they're nothing of what you would be interested in. Pay attention when you're in Facebook, when you're scrolling through and it'll eventually give you a reel. I don't watch a whole lot of them, but it'll start suggesting reels for you. And it's like, what is that? And I kind of feel like it's like clickbait in a way, because it's like, it's so ridiculous. Like I have to click on it because I'm just like, that is to stay in my lane, kind of thing. If you guys get a chance to the next couple of weeks on Pinterest, because that's what we're here for, pay attention up here on the app to these little circles. And these are the idea pins here. You can have 5 idea pins at a time. They stay there until your next one comes up. So there's no really like time frame for them. Ideally you want 5 idea pins at a time, but we'll get there in a minute. And also pay attention to that watch button right there. Right now, the people on Pinterest Watch are approved creators, but eventually that's going to be opening up. Somebody, Bob's jamming out. It's okay. It's like, he's like, I'm watching those reels or those idea pins there. So really, I know that a lot of you are just getting started in Pinterest. And so really our goal in the next couple of weeks, this is the headache part of Pinterest. We definitely want to be using a business account. I am not a fan of having a personal and a business. It's just silly business. If there are boards that you don't want people to know you have, like, like named after, like, I don't know, like my life after divorce or something, like you may want to keep that hidden. But there's a lot of different theories on Pinterest boards, personal boards. Do you all own a crock pot?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So guess what? Creatives, there's a huge correlation between crock pots and Instapots and creating. Don't ask me why. I would recommend having a crock pot board. That's going to bring in an amazing amount of people. Think about the things that you're interested in are the things that you have pins on, right? And so a lot of people are like, well, if your pin boards, those are like where you would pin things to. If your pin boards don't have anything to do with your business or product, they shouldn't be on there. I am in complete disagreement with that 100%. Here's why. Pinterest is a lead generator. Our interests are probably going to be very similar to other creatives, like people who, if you make kitchen products or you make signs or you make things, somebody hanging in the kitchen, they buy those things. Somebody uses a crock pot, they probably buy those things. You go into a home goods, trust me, they're buying those things. And so it's okay to have boards that are not, it's okay to have cute outfits. We all wear clothes. It's okay to have jewelry. It's okay to have a dream board. It's okay to have, these things. If you have boards that are like, I have some like ancestry boards, those are obviously private because I don't need those on Pinterest. Those kinds of things you keep private, but I would recommend just having one. If you just have a personal Pinterest right now, you can take that and convert it to a business. You guys will have the directions. We're going to go into Circle in a minute. You guys have the directions on how to do that. If you just want to start clean slate, I'm okay with that as well. Just know that switching back and forth is a headache. And I would just have in your mind, if I'm starting a clean slate, I'm not going back like ever backwards. Okay. So I'm not ever going backwards again. It's important for us to just look at this Pinterest as a business, and Pinterest is also sharing is caring. The more we pin, the more traction we get, and the more chance we have for our products to be seen. If we have these really cute boards of like cute outfits that we like and crock pot recipes and whatnot, we're going to get followers. And every time we pin something, our followers see what we pin. Well, those products are usually coming from Etsy and from our websites and whatnot. And so we want those followers, right? In order to get those followers, you have to have enough boards for them to have interest in. I was able to grow one of my accounts very, very quickly to about 3 million monthly views based on like 2 specific paint boards that I had. And some of you remember me in the furniture paint days. Bermuda blending was a course that my dear friend Maria and I had taught. And so we developed these Bermuda blending boards, and we have like 27,000 followers on these boards. Well, when her and I want traction on something, we pin to those boards because each board has its set of followers. A lot of people don't realize that is that your board can have its own set of followers. That it's not necessarily the followers on your thing, but the specific board can have followers. So you can actually have like a viral board, of which we do. And so when her and I want traction, like, I'm going to borrow that board, and then we get our stuff in front of more people that way. And so there's lots of little like strategies like that inside of Pinterest that people just don't think about. So don't hide all of your boards so it looks like you're starting fresh again. Don't do that, because those pins that we've shared from others get just as amount of traction, because when they land on that and they click on you and they see all your stuff, and you got home, you got DIY, and you got decor, and you have farmhouse, and you have crock pot, and they're like, oh my God, I love this person, like follow, they got good stuff on here. That's kind of how, like, that's how Pinterest people think. You know, that's how we think, or follow this board. Let's go into, I'm going to take you guys into Circle, because I opened up a new Circle for you guys. And I'm going to kind of show you where we're going with things over the next several weeks. I had a plan to start this, like, you know, the week before the New Year's. I don't know what I was thinking. Clearly I drank too much vodka that day, and I don't even drink, y'all, just coffee. But I was like, what am I thinking of doing this like right before the New Year? So here we are on the 10th. We're probably going to be spending the next like 6 to 8 weeks together. We'll kind of just see how it goes. Pushing you guys through this content, ramping things up, tracking your numbers, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. And what works for like maybe Bob may not work for Kim, and works for Kim may not work for Lisa, because all our products are different, and our audiences are different, our SEO is different. And so keep that in mind, that everybody's different. I did a Pinterest course back in August, and we had, I'm trying to think, Tina, didn't we have 2 or 3 of our members out of 100 that hit the 1 million mark in like 3 weeks? We were like, what? I was like, what? I was like,
yeah, Mary went up to like 250,000, like really quick.
Yeah. And then Kelly
She had a viral pin.
Yeah. And then Kelly did too. Kelly went from like 0 to like 350,000 in like 2 weeks.
And then Michelle Fuller went to 500,000.
She went to 500,000.
Had a viral pin.
And Christine G hit the 1 million mark.
Okay.
She had started at like 300,000 though. And then she was able to hit, she's been able to sustain the 1 million mark too. So
and that was all organic.
Yes. No. Yeah. We don't like, we are going to get into paid ads. But this is all this particular workshop. Yeah. So Joey just asked a question over here. I've only seen idea pins that go to blogs and clearly product pins go to websites. Is that changing? I don't have a blog. Joey, you have to have product. So ideally product or a blog, absolutely. Or one of my biggest struggles as a coach is I don't really have anything, like nobody wants to pin me. Like they don't want to pin me, right? So I've just been doing stuff for my free group, driving traffic to that, because I'm like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I don't paint anymore. I don't do any of that anymore. So Joey, you definitely need to have content to drive to. Pinterest is a traffic driver. You can use
Serena,
Pinterest.
Can she drive to like a Facebook group or a Facebook
Absolutely.
page?
Yeah, it's just, yeah. So you can use Pinterest to drive to
I
a
was gonna make
Facebook
cookies
group.
and forgot about it.
You can drive it to a Facebook group. You can drive to a Facebook page. You could drive it to a live video that you did. Like you have a picture of like the DIY, like of your finished product, and like, check out my new live video. If you guys follow Create with Christy, she's a good friend of mine. You can follow her Pinterest. I love her idea pins because she uses her idea pins to say when she's going live. I'll be live on Instagram and Facebook Tuesdays at 9 p.m. And so she creates these idea pins to drive traffic to Facebook and Instagram. So you just have to remember, where do I want to send traffic to? And that's what we create. It's not just a pin. Can't just put a picture up there and it doesn't go anywhere. Like it has to go somewhere. So you just need to ask yourself, where do I want to drive traffic to? I know Tammy Neff down here has a membership. Maybe today or this week, she wants to focus just sending traffic to her membership, or just sending traffic to a subscription box, or one specific product or an event or something like that. So just ask yourself, where do I want to send traffic to? And maybe you make a list, and that way you kind of know what kind of content you're creating. So we're going to go into Circle. Let me make sure it's pulled up here. I'm going to do a screen share and we're going to go into Circle. I know that Circle is new for a lot of you. We've been using it in my coaching groups for about 5 months now, and it's working really well, surprisingly. I was very hesitant to run this beta group on Circle, but I thought, you know what, the entire Pin Society is going to be on Circle, not on Facebook. So might as well just start off right? You all only see two things when you log into yours. You see home, which is kind of like all the posts. You can just kind of scroll down home and see what's there. Welcome. You guys have gotten pretty familiar with the welcome section, so that's good. You've got your beta testing section. You don't see members of society yet. That's when we open up to the public. And then how to use the society, that's coming here. I'm starting to work on those tutorials as well. I need you guys using the platform because then that helps me make tutorials. Don't be afraid to ask me. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to find this. I don't know how to do something, because then that says that's a cue to me to make a tutorial for it. So please ask and you do it. I opened up the Pinterest Circle today. And inside the Pinterest Circle, we have the weekly Pinterest challenge, and that'll start next week. I'm gonna have a challenge for you guys to do each week. The Pinterest course, I loaded up some content for you guys there today. In a couple of weeks, we're gonna be diving into idea pins, and we're gonna have an entire board just for idea pins. Pin boards, it's gonna be more like a Q&A, like, hey, I need traction to this. What am I doing wrong here? Why can't I get any followers? Or what's wrong with this? Is my SEO jacked up? Like something, whatever. Board collaborations. I'm a big fan of board collaborations for growth because I think that more than one is a great, anytime you get more than one idea together, it can create, very big things. So board collaborations. And then of course, Pinterest help, everything's just jacked up and not working. So you guys are welcome to use any of these, boards. You just go right into them and you can create a post inside of them. So let's go inside the course right now. Right here, this is going to be your homework over the next 2 weeks. I know that I'm asking a lot of you all. I know it's a lot. So span this out over the next 2 weeks so you don't get overwhelmed and shut down. But you're definitely going to start here with the Pin It to Win It. Setting up Pinterest for Business for those of you who don't have it. claiming your Etsy, YouTube, Instagram, website. You got to get all those claims because eventually we have to become a verified merchant. For those of you who have, especially Shopify stores, we need to become a verified merchant. Pimping out your bio, creating your brand boards, SEO and keywords, and creating collaborative boards. And we actually have a group for board collaborations over here. So when you create a board and you want to collaborate on it, you can post it in board collaborations, and then other members can join that board with you, and you guys can pin like content. And so think about if you have a collaborative board and you have 5 members and each person pins one thing a day to it, that board's going to grow very quickly. And see, that's why more minds are better than one mind here. So we definitely want to work through this content. Altogether, I want to say there's about 50 trainings, y'all. So here's number 7. 1 through 7 here. I got about 50 of them. So get familiar with this in the future. And in the future, we're going to start opening up these other societies these other circles that you don't see it. Here, let's talk about why it's the Pin Society, and I'll tell you where the idea for this came from. Pinterest is really great on collaborations. It's really good if you have a blog or to be featured in a blog. So let's say you don't have a blog at all. Like let's say, okay, so Miss Tammy, she has a blog, right? And Tammy can go into the society and say, hey, I need somebody who, she's in home decor, and I would love to partner up with somebody who does cooking. And the two of them can collaborate together. Maybe Tammy brings the cooking person, the recipe person on a live with her, and the recipe person, cooking person features Tammy in her blog. That cross collaboration can open up an entire new market for both people. And so we have found inside of our mastermind and inside of the coaching program that when you have these cross collaborations like this, it's amazing what happens. It's really, really amazing. I don't know who you guys follow on social media, but you can see like Kathy D with Royal Funky Junk. I should know, like I've been working with her for like 4 years now. And Chris Hunter, we're creating with Chris Hunter. You can see those collaborations. And when you create, you guys saw it, and you guys remember Melanie Ferguson. Well, I know you remember Melanie Ferguson, but remember she created those craftathons, and those were really big, and you get those collaborations going, and it can be really big. I think that one of the things that for you guys is as creatives is that we need to branch out sometimes. Imagine if you're in direct sales, right? And you do like maybe facial stuff. Like I got a posh girl in my mastermind does amazingly well. Maybe she should be collaborating with somebody who's a style expert. Problem is that the style expert doesn't know where to go to collaborate for self-care, and self-care doesn't know where to go. And so when you bring these two worlds together, you can create these partnerships that can be really beneficial to both sides of the business. That is my ultimate goal. When we launch Pin Society, we're going to have about, I would say the number is going to be initially about 400 people. That's about what's in my community. My paid communities right now is about 400. They will be coming into the society and starting to make it all like work together. And then we'll probably do a public launch from there once we get these societies kind of like up and going. I do have a plan to grow this group to very large numbers because I think that while my coaching group can never be big numbers, just by design, it can't. This is something, the more people you have to collaborate with, the more power you have. And so if think about YouTube, how many of you have YouTube? Anybody have YouTube? Bob has YouTube. Tammy has YouTube. One of the hardest things on YouTube is freaking getting 100 followers, subscribers. And then when you're done with that, you're like, oh, great. Now I need 1,000 to monetize. Are you kidding me? It just took me 4 years to get 100. Right. And so imagine if you have a community of people who can all help you get to that number, because in YouTube, it doesn't matter like in Facebook, the more organic your following is, the higher your numbers are. But in YouTube, it's all about monetization. It's all about hitting that 1,000 mark and those 600,000, viewed minutes, which is actually, it sounds difficult, but it's actually fairly easy to do once you hit 1,000. Because then YouTube starts suggesting your videos, because then YouTube makes money off of you too. So, but it's that key, to be able to get them all there. Lisa asked a question in the chat here. This is, what exactly is claiming? So Lisa, you need to have your websites, Etsy website, YouTube and Instagram claimed on Pinterest, so that you can share links from those platforms. So you can pin from Etsy without looking spammy and putting you in jail. I'm going to give y'all a disclaimer. There is a chance, by all this activity that we suddenly start doing on Pinterest, that one of you is going to end up in Pinterest jail. It's okay when it happens. You're going to get a little gold button from me that says you're a winner. It's nothing to worry about. It's usually by mistake. I just had it happen to one of my members too the other day, when I told her, hey girl, guess what? You can now pin the Etsy affiliate link. She's like, shut up. She does it, lands her in jail right away. She said, I just landed in jail. I'm like, did you put a disclaimer in there? She said, yeah. Then I contested. She goes, Pinterest contested. The next day they released her account. But anyways, if it happens to you, just let me know. I'll help you through that process. It can happen. So, yes, Miss Terry.
Yes, I have a question. I watched the video where you were talking about doing all the claiming on Pinterest, and I went in to try to do it on mine, and Instagram is not showing up to claim on there. And I was wondering why.
And you have a business Instagram? Let me, let's go into my Pinterest here. Let me do a share screen, and let me go into my Pinterest, and let's take a look at that. Pinterest has had an immense amount of changes in the last couple of months. So God only knows what they're doing here. Hopefully TikTok gets added to the list here very soon, because that would be kind of fun, but it might be competition. Oh, Lordy. Is Pinterest down? Maybe.
That came up.
Let's see here. It's broken today. Yeah, way to go, Pinterest. That's twice in a week. Let's take a look here on my mobile device here real quick.
Mine's working on my phone.
It's working
Mine
on
is
your
too.
phone. Okay, let's take a look here. Account settings, claimed accounts. Oh, that's interesting. I only have Etsy and YouTube on mine. Did they take Instagram away?
I don't have it either.
You know what? But that's interesting, because of Tailwind has the integration. Maybe you don't need to claim it anymore. Maybe that's the thing, because Tailwind has the integration with Instagram. That's interesting. That's with literally y'all within the last week.
Yeah, it was last week when I was working on this.
Okay. Yeah, that's within the last week. Okay, I'll make a note of that in the training, that Instagram may not be available. Instagram is definitely like one of the platforms from Tailwind. We'll get into that. That's like that's one of our last trainings we'll end up doing. But
I do have Tailwind, but I hadn't really done anything with it.
oh, Tailwind's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. It's life-saving, really. It's life-saving. We'll get into that. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe just don't, like I said, maybe you don't need to claim it, because you can also pin from I'll teach y'all how to do it you can also pin from Facebook, from your pages, from your photos and whatnot, but you don't have to claim your Facebook. So I'm wondering how that's going to work with Instagram, with Tailwind. So thank you for mentioning that, because there's more changes than we can keep up with. Miss Kim,
Sure.
yes.
I just thought something
just
was
have a
on
quick-
mine.
I have another quick question about claiming. My website is claimed on there, but every time I go on my Pinterest page, the thing pops up, claim your website. So then I go on to settings on Pinterest, and then the button is still there that says claim in the red, which it should turn to gray if it's claimed the right way. So I don't know why, but because then if you hit my website button on Pinterest, it'll bring you to my website. So I don't know if I should just ignore that and just let it go.
It may be, or you may not be verified, and that might be why. There's a new verification process to verify your website to become a merchant. So who's your website platform? Is it like Shopify, Wix, WordPress?
WordPress.
Okay, through WordPress. And have you installed the code into WordPress for Pinterest? You've done that. Okay. I would say it might be a verification. Have you applied to be verified?
And so what happens is, so I said, let me try this again. And then, you have to take that HTML or something like that and paste it into your WordPress. So I did that. And then you got to go back on Pinterest and paste that code in and then press the verify button. And it says it doesn't work. It says no website can be found or something like that. I don't know
Okay,
why.
so what you could also do inside of WordPress, there's an app that you can download, a Pinterest app, and you can try to do your get verified through the Pinterest app inside
Okay.
WordPress. So go into WordPress, into your into the widgets, and find the Pinterest verify, or the Pinterest. There should be one. I'm trying to think, we had a member who had to do this. I haven't had a WordPress site in a couple of years, but there is a Pinterest button to do it. Same with Shopify, y'all. You have to download it inside Shopify as one of the
Right.
inside Shopify as well. So download the widget and see if that helps you make that connection.
Okay.
Because if you have, are you running WooCommerce on your? Are you
Yeah.
running? Yeah.
I think so.
So you're gonna want to get and I did put the link, and Woo is one of them. You want to get your catalog moved over to Pinterest for shoppable pins. So I'm gonna, full disclaimer, what's it taking right now? Tina, it's taken what, about 2 months to get catalogs moved over? Pinterest is not moving real fast on this department at all, y'all. So you make the request to have your catalog moved over from Pinterest, and you wait, and then it denies you, and then you appeal it, and then you do it again, and then just one day you're going to wake up and suddenly your catalog is there, and you're like, I have no idea how that happened. That's exactly how it's going right now. And I think maybe because of all the changes that Pinterest is making, and it's just causing like a system, like 3 months for Tina. So it's not quick. But once it's there, you're golden. Like once it's there, it's good, because then you have buyable pins and you can buy right inside the platform, which is kind of nice. Really cool. So anybody have their catalog moved over from Pinterest? No? Okay. Anyone on Shopify? Nobody's on Shopify.
Not yet.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
know
not
we're
yet.
working on Tammy. Okay. So what are you guys using for those of you who have a website, who are you using for your hosting? Anybody? You
I
guys
just have Etsy. Just Etsy. It's
Yeah,
still
and-
small.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
I mean, I have my own domain, but I have it linked to Etsy.
Okay, that's perfect. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Etsy. I'm in pro Etsy team, so I think it's a great platform. So, and Bob, you don't have a website yet?
I'm still setting all that. I mean, I own the domain, and I've owned, Pinterest and all that kind of stuff. But most, like I said, I've sold out of my booth. I'm
Right.
and this is the next move, is to go, shipping and all that
Mhm.
stuff, because
Yeah.
everything I made was one of a kind, where now I can make multiple of the same thing.
Yep. Cool. So so definitely, I'm a big fan of Shopify. Bob, as you know, that's what I ran my paint company on, and when I ran everything off of Shopify, and it worked extremely well because it can handle all the multiple streams, so it can handle the membership, subscriptions, digital downloads, products, even has a section for a blog. The only thing it can't do is add revenue on blogs, but it can do everything else. So it's the only thing we found so far that you can't do on Shopify is add revenue on blogs. So Joey says, I haven't done enough with my website to connect it yet. It needs fine tuning. Well, don't wait until it's perfect, because then you're never going to find the right opportunity. You just got to do it. So even if it's not perfect, it's okay. It is totally okay. So, So Lisa says the fact that some of my stuff is one of a kind scares me. So those of you who have one of a kind stuff, I just go to Etsy. It's a great place to just do the one of a kinds, and it's much more manageable that way. You're not constantly having to worry about a website. It's really hard to drive traffic to a website when the products are ever changing. You spend more time maintaining the website than it's worth. And so I definitely think that going to just Etsy, it's a great place to be. Etsy. And it's cheap, y'all. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Etsy fees are so expensive. I'm like, no, it's a price of doing business. Yeah, it's not really.
Same thing as a booth. When you booth, they want 10% of your sales and then your rent. So it's the same thing. Yeah,
it is. And I mean, like in a booth, there are some months when you have 40% of what you earned went out the door and expenses. Well, Etsy's 8% is not looking so bad, is it? It's like not bad at all when you look at it that size, like, ooh, that's expensive. So, so Christine says that's why I'm on Etsy for now. If I ever scale up, then I will look at Shopify or other platforms. My total Etsy sales were 33 last year. I hope 100 this year. I sold probably 70 recent fair. Good for you. Good job. Very good. So wreaths are hard, man, because it's shippable. Like that is, we always say it's like decor to your door. If like, you got to find like that local business to really tap into on the wreath side, because man, that shipping is brutal. Nobody wants to pay $40-$45 to sometimes more than that to ship this round thing that hangs on your door that gets bugs and dust in it. So, anyways, y'all, so this week, really like the next 2 weeks, I'll tell you on Friday, I'm getting ready to head to California. So we won't be having a Zoom this coming Monday. So we're going to skip this week, but I'm definitely going to be there. We're going to be starting Pinterest challenge, a weekly challenge to get your numbers up. I just want to make sure that really what's important is you guys have your business pages set up, ready to go. It's okay if you're not verified and all of that, just at least have a business page, have your brand boards ready to go as well. And then I'm going to start feeding you guys some Pinterest templates from Canva. Are you all using Canva? I hope. Please tell me.
I did pay it.
Okay. I hope you all are using Canva because you're going to need it.
I'll have to get it.
Yeah, you have to get it. Not even an option.
Right.
You have to have it. So tomorrow inside of the free group. Now I know it's very confusing because I do have this free group. Just so you guys know, my free group, I was going to can it because it was really for me to build out my success path for my launch. And I was going to can it. And then everyone's like, no, you can't can it. I'm like, fine, it's all about Pinterest then. I don't know where that free group is going, but I will show up every single week on Tuesdays and give them tips and tricks. Tomorrow, I am going to be there for like 30 minutes to show them how to take one picture and make 5 Pinterest posts and how to schedule it in Canva and to use the Canva scheduler. A lot of people are going to be confused by that tutorial because they don't have a clue what I'm talking about. I'm okay with that. They're going to have to join the Pin Society to learn how to figure that out, right? So not in my mind, not that it's very difficult, but if somebody's never used it for that, they're going to be like, what? When I do these trainings inside the free group and it causes mass and utter confusion for you all, you go into the help section, the Pinterest the Pinterest help, and you're like, yo, Buttercup, help, explain this to me. And so just ask me and I'll be more than happy to, it may prompt me to make another tutorial too. So please ask. That's a cool thing about being in a beta group is sometimes I'm a little oblivious to, I just assume everybody knows it. I assume everybody's using Canva and everybody knows how to like Tammy's shaking her head at me. But that's a problem is I'm like, I don't need to teach this. This is dumb. Everybody knows how to do this. And then I'll get somebody who asks me how to do that. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, really? And then they'll be like, nobody. And then I have another person who asks, I'm like, oh, okay. Cause sometimes I feel like nobody wants to be in a group where they learn a bunch of stuff they already know. Right. So you have to ask. And I'm very appreciative when you ask. So Miss Kim, yes.
I know you said, ask if you don't know, I know this is probably a silly question, but you're saying, make sure you have your brand boards. When you mean brand boards, what do you mean by that?
So there's a video that I'll show you. I uploaded it. So let
Okay.
me- yeah, so let me show you here. Let's go back into here under your Pinterest course in Circle. On the right hand side, I definitely recommend using this on a desktop or laptop, y'all. The app is fine, but you get more on the desktop version. If you go down to training for creating your brand board.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so everything's
Okay.
here, pimping out your bio, creating your brand boards, SEO,
Okay.
how to fix your boards that you currently have and clean those up. That's actually very time consuming. I hate it, but it's got to be done. And then collaborative boards. I'd love for you guys to create some maybe Valentine's Day boards or some Easter boards, some spring stuff, even some foodie boards. Foodie's big, you guys. Anybody, if there's one thing everybody
I thought
needs.
you said booty boards.
Yeah. Hey. Well, Tammy, you and I can get on that side. We're gonna
That's
go real
right.
quick in that case.
Valentine's booty board. I got you.
Valentine's foodie boards. Booty boards may not be a bad idea though, Tammy. We might be able to like,
Whatever.
yeah, why not? Like, hey, whatever we got to do for business, we're creatives. If it means we got to do booty boards on Pinterest, that's what my coach said. That's what we're gonna do.
That's what I'm doing.
Whatever collaborative boards y'all want to do, knock yourself out. I don't care. No judgment here, judgment free zone. But I would like to see some collaborative boards if you guys want to create some Easter, Valentine's Day, anything food related. I always say the one thing in life that's recession proof is food. No matter what our economy is doing, no matter where we're at in life, people will always be looking for food and for recipes, and it's recession proof. It's unfortunate. Like it's unfortunate, but it's fortunate. Like, you know, my foodie people are going to be in business their entire lives. Even I thought about, I was like, oh, if I could do like chocolate covered espresso beans in like 50 flavors, I would be a bazillionaire, right? Until I did the research to how hard it is to make a chocolate covered espresso bean. I thought, oh yeah, I don't really have time for that. You know, like the Jelly Belly belly box, you know, the jelly beans, and they have the different flavors in them. I thought, wouldn't that be cool? And they're like espresso beans, and they got like hot jalapeno and like the chili pepper. And then I did this like 4 or 5 years ago, y'all. And I did research on it, and I'm like, oh no, that's complicated.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So when we do a collaboration board, do we do lives? I got my head in Facebook, so I got it.
No. You
understand.
just create a board.
We're just posting a picture.
Yeah,
Okay.
you create a board, and you'll see in the video how you snag the link to that board, and it's an invite link. And then you post that link, and then we can all join and pin to that board.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So
Just
I've got-
pictures.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yep, exactly. And you can even post videos in those, because what happens is, okay, so let's say, Tammy, you have 100 followers, and Christine has 100 followers, and Miss Kim has 100 followers. And then you just opened up your pin board to 300 people. So you just opened up to a new, you know, you're now able to tap into Kim's, you know, Tim's group, or you're able to tap into Tina's group, or, you know, like you're able to tap into other groups. And that's what we want to do. That's what we're trying to do. So when you collaborate, it's really, really great. Let me know too, because I'm happy to join. I have a lot of collaborative boards actually on my Pinterest, and we just did a big one inside my coach, like for Christmas this year. So you'll see here, so you'll know your collaborative boards on the app. It's kind of hard to see right here, but they'll have a little circle with faces on them. And some of them have like several, like I've got some that are like, we've got a ton of like the Christmas board right here. We have a ton of collaborators on that one. But it's just nice because you're able to get a different, you know, tap into a different market. So
Question.
yes, Lisa.
Do you mind if we collaborate with people outside of this group?
Oh, I don't care at all. No, not at all.
Okay.
Oh, no, please
All right.
do. Absolutely. Please do.
Catherine from Digital Deck Designs and I have been talking about doing this.
Oh, yeah,
Collaborating.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I do want to add something real quick. If there's any sort of like nerdy people in here, if you're looking for a certain age group, most of my people are millennials because I post Star Wars, anime, dragons, mermaids, all that sort of fantasy art.
Yep.
So if you're if you see when you go in your analytics and you see, oh, you have the same age bracket of people following you and you want to tap into something else, that is a great sort of boards to put on to bring a new age of audience to you.
Yeah.
Good idea. Good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So you definitely want to watch. We'll get into the analytics in a couple of weeks and how you guys can watch those. But it's really eye-opening. Obviously my following naturally is going to be 40 to 55 plus. Sorry, Bob, but they're mainly female. I got a few of my boys, but for the most part, like most of my people are women, naturally, because normally crafters, creative paint, poor Bob here. He's stuck in a woman's world. I don't think he minds it. You don't mind at all. I know you don't mind.
I would say probably 70% of mine are females between the 40 and 55 age. Looking at my boards.
Yeah. So Bob, the tip for you: just start creating with their shirt off, and you'll have a whole lot more of them. Like a whole lot more. You'll have more of that's what TikTok is for. Knock yourself out, Bob. Whatever you want to do. Hey, if you got to stand on the street corner and sell your product, whatever you got to do, hey, it's creative. Sometimes that's what we got to do, right? It's a joke in my mastermind. Like, what gas station corner are you standing on today? And one of our members, Michelle, she'll always say, well, what should I be wearing on my street corner today? So right now, the big trend inside Pinterest this year, so you guys know the big trend in Pinterest for 2022, you may not want to hear this, is goth. Anything dark, goth is in this year. Modern goth is in, we'll start getting into more of these trends as the weeks go on, but modern goth is really in. And so she had posted a couple of weeks ago, like, hey, what should I be wearing on the street corner this week? And we're like, goth, lots of black leather, Lisa, lots of black leather on that street corner. Anyways, poor thing. Poor thing. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe she's a fine artist too. So just like way out of her element. But Christine, I love how you did a pool collaboration board with a friend. Those are really, those are great. Cause you just share stuff back and forth. I mean, that's kind of how Maria and I grew ours. Like just kind of blew up because her and I would just be sharing like ideas back and forth. Oh, I did this. I did that one. I did this. Hey, what do you think about this? And we would just share them back and forth because back in the day, how do you, besides email, how did you share things? It's like weird when you think about it. And we use Pinterest boards to do that. So
I used to use House to do that, but now with the business in mind, back to what you were teaching us, is that the more followers you can get just in Pinterest is going to help you overall. So
yeah. And I love how you wrote it here. So you were in my Pin It to Win It. So you've already seen a lot of these trainings and have done a lot of the homework. And so you know where this is going, but she's like, I did a little test this week using what you taught us in Pin It to Win It, just doing idea pins and my daily numbers on Etsy went from 10 to 30. It's crazy, right? So that's pretty awesome. I have used Canva and Pinterest tools too. Let me show you guys something too. Etsy and TikTok are doing a collaboration together. Etsy determined that during the holidays, 70% of brand new buyers, so not people who have bought on Etsy before, because Etsy has a huge recurring visit rate, but 70% of brand new buyers were coming from TikTok. Isn't that crazy? So that age demographic was going down. So let me show you guys something real quick in Etsy for those of you who have an Etsy store. I want you to go into your Etsy shop here, and I want you to look right here and under Shop Advisor, Etsy seller exclusive free TikTok one-on-one 101 webinar. And you can sign up for that webinar that's on the 21st. It's totally free. I would highly recommend it because TikTok is one of the platforms we will eventually be diving into. I'm not quite sure if we're going to get into it in the beta. But I would highly recommend doing that because when I talk about Christine talking about doing an idea pin in her numbers and Etsy went from 10 visits a day to 30 visits a day. It's all about driving traffic, y'all. Like we just got to find ways to drive traffic. And I love Facebook. I love going live, but it's not a traffic driver, unfortunately. So it's a community, like it's a place where we go and like we hang out and we love on each other and woohoo, we cheer each other on. But unfortunately, unless you're selling live, it's not a place that it's a brand builder because we build our community, right? And our followers and our people, but it's not really where we get lead generation. And so we just need to kind of switch our mindset is how do I find more people? That's over here in the evergreen, the little seed, and it's not quick, it can take some time. So anyways, y'all, you have any more questions for me?
I have one.
Yes, Lisa.
If we have like on my Facebook, it's business and I have stuff up there for sale.
Mhm.
Should I take that down since I'm going to be linking more to Pinterest or just leave it go?
No, I just thought it'd be. Yeah, you went
Okay.
through the trouble of getting it there through the Facebook shop. I'm assuming you use the Facebook shop app. Just leave it there. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming you haven't made many sales on that.
No.
Yeah, most people
That's
don't
I
really go to
wondered
Facebook.
if I should concentrate more.
If it's costing you money, then I would get rid of it. But if it's not costing, I'd put that money towards like something like Canva. But if it's not costing you any money, then I would just leave it. It's fine. Yeah, at least people can see what it is that you do. The best place to make money on Facebook, hands down, 1000% is going live and selling live. I mean, that's really like where it is going live. So y'all have work to do. I know Miss Christine's up here. She did the pin it to win it, so she's probably good to go. But starting on Monday, we're going to start the weekly Pinterest challenges. I'm going to give you guys a task to do, and it's kind of like a test. It's going to kind of see like maybe how many more numbers did we see on Etsy? What did we see traffic on, our Shopify site or WordPress sites? If you have WordPress, I would recommend that you get a visitor counter button installed or a visitor number widget installed in the back. They're usually free. And that way you can track your numbers and where your people are coming from. If you're on Shopify and Wix, they naturally do, they already have those built in. So you can get the tracker. And also too, if you're on WordPress, if they have some sort of social media widget of where your lead generations are coming from, like is your traffic coming from Facebook? Is your traffic coming from Instagram? Is it coming from Pinterest? Take a look at your social media downloads for WordPress and see if there's some widgets there that you can get that'll track. Again, if you're on Wix or Shopify, those are already built in. You don't need to download anything. That's already part of the system. Same with Etsy. Etsy has their tracking platform too, where your leads are coming from. We're going to be wanting to watch those, especially those of us on, Etsy, really, where those leads are coming from, because we're going to see maybe we're getting 20 leads a week from Pinterest. Well, we want to get that up to we want to 10 times that. So we want that to be 200 leads, a week on there, because the more leads we have, the more chance we have to sell something. Christine says, while I learned a lot of the tools late last year, the busy season everything, I know kept me off my computer. So now I'm hoping refresh and focus. Social media for traction. I love the accountability team too. Yeah. So we're here to keep you guys on track. No question is a dumb question. If you don't ask, I can't answer. I'm definitely a hand holder. So I like to hold your hand and walk you across the street, and I'm not usually ready to let go just yet. So make use of that. Tina will be here. You guys will meet Matt probably in a couple of weeks. And so they're both going to kind of be your community cheerleaders here. So Tina, thank you for being on tonight, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So
nice to meet you.
Yeah. So she's got a great resource
Nice to meet
for
you
us.
all.
Yeah. Tina has been with us. You started in my coaching group
It was January 2020.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Man,
Yeah,
time goes
I
by
know.
fast. Man, it goes by fast. It goes by fast. So, all right. Have a good night, everybody. Welcome. I'm so excited to have
You
you all.
too.
Nice meeting everybody.
Nice to
Nice
meet
seeing
you.
everybody.
Yeah, and we're gonna
Same
see you
here.
guys in 2 weeks. So we'll see you guys on the 24th. I
Alright.
think it's on the 24th. Yeah, on the 24th. At probably 8 o'clock. I'll have an event scheduled for y'all, so you won't really have to remember it. But we'll get in that way. We'll kind of reconvene and get you guys going on the next.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared, Tammy. Don't be scared. Girl, don't be scared. I feel like a TikTok video right now. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Yeah, I got you, sunshine. I got you. Don't worry. I'm gonna hold your hand across the thing. We got you. Tina's here too to help you. All right. All right.
Okay.
Because remember, your guys' success is our success in this program. And that's why I have a beta group instead of like launching and trying to figure it out. We're just gonna all figure this out together. And if something's not working, you got to tell me, like, this ain't working for me. So, and that way we can fix it before like we let 400 people in the door. So, all right. All right. Have a good night. And we'll see you guys
Good night,
soon.
everybody.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Sounds good.
Now 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.